Hello, my name is Gabriel Crandall, and this will be my first ever podcast. The podcast name is going to be Helger Investments. It's just my business, and I really like the word Helger. Before I go too far into this, I just kind of want to tell you my story, who I am, where I came from, my struggles, my success. I'm going to probably start out way young. So, I grew up in a town called Eldora. A little podunk town. Middle of nowhere. It's in Iowa. It's not a terrible town. It was all I knew when I was younger. And I was an asshole kid. And fat. That's who I was. I was an asshole and I was fat. I was mad because I was fat. And I was fat because I was mad. Well, no, I was just fat because I ate too much. Or whatever. And I hung around with people that necessarily didn't want the best for me. They would use me. And as a kid, I mean, you just want friends. You want people to like you. At least I did. I wanted people to like me. I wanted people to be cool with me. I did not want people to run away from me. I was tired of people making fun of me. I did not like it. I didn't feel good when people made fun of me. I mean, one of the worst memories I ever had is when I was with my brother and my friend, what was his name? Last name Lucan. I don't remember his name, but we were hanging out, man, and they just started running away from me. And I was like, dude, come on, what are you doing? And just the sense of like failure that I had there was crazy. So from then on, I would try to be a people pleaser. Constantly, I would try to be a people pleaser. I would find ways to make people laugh, even if it inconvenienced me. I would do the dumbest of shit. I would fall in line with them. I started smoking because they were smoking. I started drinking because my friends were drinking. I started doing stupid shit because all my other friends were doing stupid shit. And it crescendoed. I quit going to school. So I pretty much just got kicked out of my house because, I mean, at that point, at 16, I did whatever I wanted. Whatever I wanted. I didn't even care. I didn't care about myself, so why would I care about anything else? Now I look back at it, that I don't give a fuck attitude is one of the dumbest things I ever had. Because the whole time I gave a fuck. I cared so much that I tried to cover it up with a I don't give a fuck attitude. So around 16, with my friends, 2 friends, I don't really need to name names, they know who they are. But after I got kicked out of the house, I was willing to do whatever. We went and stayed in a hotel for a little bit. That hotel was dope. There was a jacuzzi and everything. It was like one of the most expensive rooms you could get at the hotel we stayed in. Like the dumbest thing you can do. You have no money. You have hardly any money and no job, and you decide to spend money on the most expensive hotel. Should have been a sign there. Wasn't. Didn't look at signs then. So we're doing that, and I mean, the thought comes up. I knew that my friend's dad had a gun. I knew how to get money. Take it from somebody. I knew I was willing to do it. So I did. I went and stole his dad's gun. I concocted a plan. Well, I didn't really. I went along with a plan, but I mean, fuck. I went along with it. I tried to impose my will on it. And we came up with a plan to rob a Casey's. Which, if nobody knows, it's like It's like a Circle K for Iowa, pretty much. Just your average convenience store. And so I did. I went there. I went there with my black mask on, my hoodie on, my I think sweatpants and some Nikes, and I went in there, gun sideways, cause fuck was I retarded. I was dumb, and I went in there and I told them, I said, "Give me the money," and I stuck the gun up, and they said, "Are you kidding?" And wouldn't the smartest thing would have been to be, yeah, April Fools on I think it was November, yeah, April Fools. I don't think you can pull that card in November, but it would have been smart to use it there. And I said no. I said, does it look like I'm fucking kidding? Because I wasn't. At that time, I was so afraid that I would have did whatever was necessary. Because fear will drive you to extreme measures. It'll drive you to points where you think you could never ever go. When you lose all hope, there's a different mentality with that. When you think you can never make it back, you quit thinking. And so I did it. I robbed them. I got the money. I ran away. I made it probably about 3 days until I turned myself in because I went to my grandma's house and listened to them. And lo and behold, I went to prison. I went to Iowa prison. I went to, what was the place? Anamos was the first place I went. Anamos State Penitentiary. It was for juveniles. I got served a 25-year sentence, which, with no mandatory, I could get out a year in, but I didn't. I went there. I tried to straighten up. I really wanted to. I wanted to change. And I fucking didn't. I didn't change at all. I convinced myself that I was changing. I mean, I lost 40 pounds in there because I started starving myself. And I started working out. Like, that helped. Working out really helped. At 16, working out will change a lot of things. But it didn't change me completely. I mean, I had a long way to go. I still needed to be in there, so I was in there. I turned 18 and they sent me to Fort Madison. I think it's just correctional facility. Or no. Fort Dodge Correctional Facility. That's what it was, Fort Dodge. And I went there, and I met my best friend, Dakota. And he introduced me to Odinism. And honestly, he taught me what it was like to be courageous. To not hold yourself down. To face life with courage. And we went through a lot in there together, dude. We struggled, dude. It was a real bond. It was like going to war together. We worked out every day. He tried to convince me continuously to hold a diet. I never did that and ate like a fat ass behind his back. So I stayed fat. That was just my life right then. That was consistently my life was being fat. And I was, I guess, able to deal with it. And just kept doing it. And then I learned that being stuck in solitary confinement ain't as bad as you think it is. It's not good. Probably drives you a little crazy. I mean, you go a little nuts. That's fine. It kind of just the four walls and yourself. Sometimes there's food. Sometimes there's things to draw. But I learned that it's not bad to be by yourself. So I started getting in trouble. I kept holding on to the belief that I had to be tough and I had to please. No, not that word. I had to get acceptance from my friends. They had to approve of who I was. That is why I continuously was mad, and I thought, and their force was the rule. Force is what would get you places. And I guess it did. It actually got me sent to Fort Madison Penitentiary, where I learned that isolation can breed one of two things. Isolation can breed a monster or a hero. That is what it breeds, a monster or a hero. And at one point I was convinced I was a monster. I was not towards other people. I've never really been a monster towards other people. I've always thought myself of more self-deprecating than anything. I was my internal dialogue was convincing me that I was never going to be free. And that was about year four or five, and most of it. And that's when things turned around, because I actually started eating right. The thing that was the hardest for me, I started doing. And it changes your thought process. When you can consistently do what you thought you'd never be able to do, it changes how you think about yourself. Your internal dialogue is no longer self-deprecating, but brings elevation to the situation. It changes your whole self by being able to do what you've never done. So I quit giving a shit. I had no more friends. I pretty much got by. I just survived. Reading. I just started avoiding people because I was afraid I'd go back to the hole. I was afraid that I'd get in a fight. I let people think I was a bitch, because I was then. I was cool with it. I was cool with being a bitch to get out. I didn't care. I didn't fucking punk me out. Dude, take my food. Do whatever the hell you want, but I'm not being in prison no more. And it humbles you. It does humble you when your normal mode of thinking is confronting somebody. When your normal mode is, I'm gonna fight you, regardless. When your normal mode is, fuck you. It humbles you. It takes you back to your core beliefs. It takes you back to what you really want. And it humbled me. And so I made it out. They sent me back to Fort Dodge. As the circle continues, I made it back there. And it was not bad. It was not terrible. But it was still prison, dude. And I still had to learn. And I still wanted people to be my friends. I did. But you don't need friends. You need to love yourself. That's what I realized. You do not have to care what other people think. You only thing you have to care about is what you think. Now, to touch back on what I learned from Dakota about Odinism, I believe in Odin and Frigga. That is my god, goddess. Them are the two that I match myself completely with. Not because I'm like them, but because Odinism makes you... Odinism has it where you are the fault for everything. Where you are the catalyst. Where what happens to you is because of what you do, not because of some unforeseen forces that control your life. Self-determinism. That's what it is. You are the catalyst for your life. You're the one driving it. Now, there are things that will always happen to you that were bound to happen to you, but you control what you do to them. That's why I liked it. And with Odinism, they taught me virtues. Normally there's 9. That's what Odinist and us true people believe. They stand by 9. Nope. But I do not need that many to guide my life. I only need 3. Courage, honor, and fidelity. Let's start with courage. That's all I ever needed. I needed courage. That was it. That's all you ever need. It's just a tad bit of courage. And courage comes from yourself. It comes from repeated actions against the fears that you believe hold you back. Whatever they may be. Repeated actions against what you believe to hold you back. You gain courage. So simple yet so confusing. And an honor. Your name. I could give a shit less what people think about your name, right? It's what you think about it. And actually believe. If everybody thinks you're the fucking coolest dude in the world, or thinks you're the most respected, or so you could be the richest person in the world, but if when you go to bed at night and you think you're a piece of shit, you know which one's true. You do. You do know which one's true. So, honor what you think about your name, who you believe you are. And the last one, fidelity. I find it the best case to be true to what you believe in. Always. I find it fun to have beliefs that everybody it's not that I find it fun to have beliefs that everybody doesn't have. Makes them harder to hold on to. Makes what you believe in harder to have, because it is always easier to follow the crowd. And if you're not in the crowd, dude, you will always hear the voices from them. They will always have something to say about you. And it is, life lived harder is a life lived better. Life lived harder is a life lived better. And there is only 2 things in life that can stop you. Death and doubt. Only those 2. Nothing else can stop you. Nothing. Death and doubt is the only thing that can stop you. Now, I have a thing that I do every night is I journal to myself. And I find that what I wrote down might help you guys, so I'd like to just read it out loud. It says, the will to overcome. It is a dominant drive in a man with purpose. It is the goal and purpose all mixed into one. When a strong man faces challenges, it will build his soul up and break his ego down. It will humble a strong man. It is the opposite for a weak man. It will inflate his ego and tear his soul down. It will make him feel like he is the only person with problems in his life, when in reality, everybody is facing something. Everybody is trying to overcome something. No matter how big, no matter how small, there are always obstacles. And there is a purpose to these obstacles. They are to build you up. They are to humble you. They're to bring something to the forefront of what you need to think about. They are to change your character because you need to grow. Or they are to tear you down because you're too fucking full of yourself. These things do not happen by chance. They're not here by chance. Your life will always have purpose even if you don't. There's always something you will bring to this world if you are living. Always. There will always be something you will bring to this world if you are living. Now, what you bring to this world will be different. And that's even the better. You need to be different. If we were all mindless drones, this world would be the same, always. It would never improve. It would never degrade. It would always be consistently the same thing. We don't want that. So when you're facing your obstacles today, think about death and doubt. Death is a continuous experience. We start when we are born, and it is only fulfilled when we die. It is always in the back of your mind. It will always be there, and the only time it's not is when you are numbing yourself with things that let you escape, like drugs or social media or games or senseless clicks or anything like that. That's when it won't be on your mind, and you think it makes it easier for you. You think that distracting yourself will help, but it won't, because one day you'll wake up and it'll be your last day. You'll wake up not knowing it's your last day, and you will have lived a meaningless life trying to distract yourself, when all you ever had to do was dive the fuck into your problems. And the second thing is doubt. You control that. There are two versions of yourself. One is higher and one is lower. One tells you you can do it. One tells you you're a fucking failure. Why even try? Now, which one are you even listening to? Which one guides the course for you? Which one are you consistently letting control your life? I can look in the mirror some days and I can tell myself that it was the lower version driving me today. I'll be real. Some days, that motherfucker's got a stranglehold on me. Some days, I could sit fucking play video games all day. Or I could be a fat ass and just eat whatever I want to eat. Or I could not sit here and record for you guys. Or whatever. He does win some days. But not consistently. The person that says you could do this is who wins consistently in my life. And it's a scary life living. When things are hard, don't get me wrong. When you don't know how you're going to pay your bills. When you don't know what you're supposed to do. It is not easy. But it is always worth it. And it will always be worth it. There's one thing you can do today. Sacrifice. That's all you need to do. One thing you need to do today is sacrifice. For me and for everybody that's listening. Choose to sacrifice. Hail Odin.